Hey guys, this is Karthika Kantwal from Apex FinServe, and we're back with the weekly series. And this time we'll be discussing something that a lot of you use but somehow are not able to extract the most out of it. That is VWAP. Most of you might be aware of it, and what it is, how it's calculated, and those things. So we won't be getting into the math of it, but we'll be looking at what kind of conclusions you can come to, or what are the different kind of approaches that you can actually use in live market trading or post market analysis to make the most out of the indicator. And if you remember the setup that we discussed last week, the exponential moving average crossover, where VWAP was used as the immediate entry generator. And I asked you guys whether you wanted a separate video, a small one, on how to interpret VWAP, how to use VWAP, to justify its actual presence on the chart. So that is what we'll be going through today. We'll be looking at VWAP, what kind of information does it provide from the chart, and different approaches that you can have using VWAP. But we won't be getting into the math of it, how it's calculated, and those things. So before we start before we start looking at the actual chart itself, and a couple of sample trades that I have listed out for you guys, it is important for you to know what VWAP is, not how it's calculated, of course, but what is actually trying to tell you. So VWAP, the full form, you might be aware of volume weighted average price, no big deal there. The first thing, or the nature of the indicator itself. So VWAP is, a lot of people have told, or a lot of people have shared that yeah, VWAP is a dynamic indicator, but basically it comes into the same category of overlay indicators. At the end of the day, it is a lagging indicator. Its primary function is to help you perform directional analysis of the market, or to help you perform phase analysis of the market. So you can use it to identify immediate underlying trend, in a similar manner that you use to identify the trend using smaller or period moving averages, or exponential moving averages to be specific, such as 9 EMA, 14 EMA, and those kinds. In a very fundamental manner, you might be using exponential moving averages ka slope. If it is upwards or positively slope, then it is in an uptrend. Downwards is, or negatively slope is, a downtrend. VWAP can be used in a similar manner too, where the primary or the ideal assumption remains to buy above VWAP or to sell under VWAP. Moving on to the second point, it is not to be used exclusively. Now, it is an indicator at the end of the day. No matter how efficient it gets, it still remains an overlay indicator. It's still going to be a lagging indicator because, well, at the end of the day, you cannot deny that it is simply a cumulative average of the previous data that it is using to display the curve on your graph. So there is no possible way that it can actually lead the price in any manner, no matter how you look at it. So it is going to be a lagging indicator. It is not to be used exclusively. You can, if you have a proper catered system built around VWAP itself, but that is not something that I really recommend. It is a powerful indicator when used in conjunction with other concepts. Now what we are going to be looking at here is implementation of VWAP using phase analysis. If you are wondering what price action based phase analysis is, then I have already uploaded a video. I'll try to add the link in the description. I'll not try to, I'll definitely put it there. So those of you who are unaware of how to perform phase analysis using price action, you can definitely check out that video and then come back to this video for a clearer picture. Coming to the third point, now the best way, in my opinion, of using VWAP is to find out your optimal entry points, because those are the prices where you are most likely to receive the most, or the surplus of liquidity, where your orders are easily going to be filled in. Or if you want to use a the Twitterati language, or the language from Twitter, then VWAP is the price level where the biggies or the institution prefer to place their orders in, because that is the price level that most likely carries the highest volume, hence the heaviest liquidity, or the highest liquidity. Now, most important part, again, it enables you to perform decent phase analysis or decent trend identification when coupled with price action based phase analysis. Another advantage of using VWAP is, now phase analysis will not give you dynamic support resistance levels. It is going to give you swing points which are static or fixed in nature, but not dynamic SR levels for immediate trend identification or breakout or reversal trades. In that particular place, VWAP plays that role. It gives you very well dynamic support resistance levels when you're using it on a smaller time frame. Now there are multiple approaches to trading with VWAP or to enter a trade with VWAP. Basically you have two. There's the breakout of VWAP and the pullbacks of VWAP. We'll look at both these things and the difference between these two when we go to the charts. Now VWAP is, from my experience, it is most effective on smaller time frame based systems such as 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or anything equal to or less than 15 minutes basically, where you are looking for quick pullbacks or quick breakouts. You are taking aggressive entries based on just a single confirmation factor. You have a very right risk management system. Only then you can go for aggressive entries using VWAP on a smaller time frame. That is how I like to use it. Now it is not ideal for carryovers because VWAP, it actually resets every day, so it's not going to be really useful for wherever your holding period is going to be more than a trading session. So if you want to use it that way, you should stick to the faster period exponential moving averages. They'll give you more or less the same advantages of VWAP, but not with the reset disadvantage. Now another mistake that most people make is using VWAP for stop loss placement. Now that is very very wrong because it is highly likely that your stop loss is going to be taken out if the price is retracing to its VWAP. The reason for that being, as I said, VWAP is the price level where there is ample of liquidity. So there are plenty of orders pending to be filled at VWAP already. So as the price retraces to fill those orders, your stop loss order most likely it is going to be taken out if it is placed slightly above or slightly under VWAP. So if you want to place a stop loss on a VWAP based or a system that built around VWAP, then use a subjective method of stop loss placement such as a phase analysis or anything like that basically. Now VWAP is to be used as an intraday reference point only. As I said, it resets every day. So if you are looking for something that allows you to give you carryover signals, positional signals, honestly you should look elsewhere because VWAP is not going to be your saving grace. VWAP is good, as I said, for aggressive traders who are looking to trade the indices or a trend following asset on a smaller time frame with smaller targets, who are looking for consistency with a watertight or an airtight risk management system. If you are one of those traders, then VWAP is the one for you. Now let's move on to the charts. Now we'll be looking at multiple trades and multiple scenarios. Starting with the first one, we have Bajaj Finance. Now as I said, VWAP is good for smaller time frame charts. I have this set up on a 5 minutes time frame. This is the Bajaj Finance chart. As you can see, it is Bajaj Finance. Now starting with the phase analysis part. Now if you have watched that video, then this is what we call a range bound market, because it was more or less making the same highs and the same lows. It was stuck between two swing highs and swing lows. Then once it broke out of that level, like if you can see the wick of the green candle, it was not a gap up break, but it was an actual break. But that was not sustained and it went into formation of a lower low lower high pattern, which is what's happened here. Now as you can see, once a trend started to come into place, then we had a strong breakout or a strong breakdown of the price under VWAP. Now once that happens, you can ideally take a short position at every pullback to the VWAP, but at that particular point of time we did not have a phase analysis confirmation because that was technically a resistance break. So if you are going by the phase analysis method, then it should have completed the higher high higher low pattern and not the lower low lower high pattern. So this is not really an entry point for us. Now once that was completed, once that swing low was broken, then we had another pullback at the lower high formation, but the VWAP was pretty far away. So if you are using that, then there was really no trade entry point for you. Now coming to the next point of interaction with VWAP, if you can see on the screen right now, on the 1st of September, the price crossed VWAP, or the crossed crossed over VWAP with abundant volume. So that means that it has actually, or should I simply say, it has reversed, because in a downtrend the prices should be under VWAP, where every interaction with VWAP is where heavier supply is coming in. But if it has broken above VWAP, then we expect a a lower low, lower high to higher low transition. And if you are aware of the phase analysis part of it, then I told you guys that the ideal retracement is going to be roughly 50%. And if I take it to that point, then well, it also broke. I'll just drag it further to show you guys. If you can see on the chart, that also broke the 50% retracement of the previous swing leg. So I'll just remove that to avoid the clutter. So as obvious, even from the phase analysis part, it has now invalidated this lower low swing leg. So the idea is to now take a long trade on every pullback. So once it has done that, if you are an aggressive trader, you can go long at every interaction with the VWAP, with your stop loss going under the swing high. But at this point, I would not have taken this entry because, well, simply the exposure that I would have had at this point was too long or too big, and the risk was not simply justified, or simply not justified. So it was not a trade for me. Now moving on to the next point of interaction with this VWAP, it struggled here quite a bit and then went on to form a fresh swing high in the same trading session. Now once it formed a fresh swing high, well, at that point my bias for longs was cemented because I already had an invalidated lower low swing leg. Now I had a higher high confirmation. At this point, it was very clear that I could have taken, or I should have taken rather, a long position near the moving average with my stop loss going under the previous swing low. So that is what I have plotted here for you guys, a VWAP pullback sample entry with the confirmation from the phase analysis side of things. So ideally I would have gone for a long position at the 35.50 at the VWAP, target being first the swing high, stop loss being under the swing high. Or if you want percentage based targets, you can go for a fixed 1% target and 1.5% SL2, but I like to keep it a bit variable because that allows me to introduce more subjectivity into my trades. I just think it gives me an edge. You may or you may not use it. If you want to trade in a trend friendly manner, then I think targeting swing highs and setting your stop losses as per the lows is appropriate because it also allows you to trail it after a certain point. For example, if your first target would have been met, you could have trailed your SL2 cost and then ridden it out until either the end of the trading session or until it interacts with the VWAP again or tries to break under that. Now after that trade, every interaction or every following interaction with that VWAP should have resulted in a formation of a fresh swing high. But the next interaction with the VWAP on the next trading session, if you can see, which is the second, at this point the price slipped under VWAP with weakening volume. So that's not really preferred if you have an uptrend, because that signifies that the momentum is shifting away. At the same time, we also have the phase analysis confirmation because this new swing point on the second is equivalent to the same swing high that we had on the 1st of September. So even the phase analysis said that the higher high momentum, well, that's not really there anymore. So once it shifted, or it invalidated the higher low formation because, well, you had a breakdown of VWAP plus same swing high confirmation. At that point on, every interaction with the VWAP was a selling point. Now because you have a range bound market environment at this point, it is smarter to target fixed percentage targets and not swing targets, because you don't really have important swings at this point. But that is another breakout example. Now moving on to the next point of interaction along the line. Again, the price tried to break above the moving average, but not confirmed from the phase analysis side of things because, well, range bound again. Now, if I don't know how well versed you are with price action, but this is where of course it was range bound, but it further went into a range contraction. If you have read about it, well and good. If you have not, then, well, I don't know what you're waiting for. You should go and read about that. Range expansion and range contraction are pretty important concepts. Now it underwent range contraction, which also means that the volatility is going to decrease. The average candle range is also going to decrease. As a result, in such a market environment, even on such a smaller time frame, there are simply no aggressive entries as long as it breaks either one of the significant swing points. Now in today's trading session, well, of course, most of you might be aware we had the stupid gap. Now if you have a gap down, then, well, the candles are of course going to suddenly shift under VWAP. But once we had that gap opening, the gap, the market had reversed, or not reversed, but it was trying to fill the gap. Now, as you can see in the candles too, even on a smaller time frame, the prices are sustaining above VWAPs. That means they were bullish, but we simply did not have an entry because, well, the phase analysis was not really supporting it. It was in a range bound environment. The range was broken in a gap, the gap was filled, but still you did not have any phase analysis confirmation. You can say that, yeah, you have a high low formation at this point, but wait a minute, I'll draw it out for you. So you can say you have a higher low confirmation at this point, but there was really no interaction with VWAP as such. So that's not really a trade that you could have taken because there really was not any interaction with the VWAP, as you can see. Now in the second half of the trading session, the price stumbled under VWAP. So now at this point, going by the phase analysis, you have two possibilities. As you can see, I have written down the first possibility is that that is a support level that has previously acted, the blue line. I have just plotted it out. So the first possibility is that it has taken support from it in the last half an hour of the trading session, and it has also broken roughly, not broken exactly, but is more or less at the 50% retracement of the swing leg. If I use the retracement tool, then I guess it's going to be a bit more apparent. Yeah, the 50% retracement, I'll clear it out for you guys. The 50% retracement of the swing leg comes close to 3612, and the current price sits at 3617. So it has pierced it, but whether it is sustaining or not, that's not something that we can confirm at this point, because, well, it's a 5 minutes time frame. So what do you expect? So at this point we have two possibilities. The first possibility is that this upwards break of VWAP is sustained, and then you have a retracement of the previous swing leg, or this high rise swing leg, that is invalidating the lower low swing leg. If that is the case, then that retracement should come around to roughly 3600. That is also where your VWAP lies. So that is going to be an ideal long entry for you guys. That is the first probability. The second one is that this break of VWAP is not sustained, which might be true considering how international markets are plummeting right now. If this break is not sustained, then this lower low, lower high formation should be continued. If that is the case, then the first point of entry that you can get is the break of the previous swing low at close to 35.75. So these are the two cases on Bajaj Finance as per the VWAP trading system. So I hope you guys understood this part. Now let me know if you want this chart or not, because if you want the chart, then I can share it on the Apex FinServe Telegram channel. Of course, because I cannot attach images in the description, so I'll share it there. Now let's look at another chart this time. Let's move on to the indice, Bank Nifty particular. Now Bank Nifty, it was in an uptrend over the last couple of weeks, but that uptrend was more or less a consolidation and then sudden up move, consolidation and then sudden up move. So not really something that you could have caught even aggressively unless you were very well prepared. Now assuming that you were not very well prepared, because this is the first time I'm making a video on VWAP. So going by the phase analysis part, the first thing or that we are supposed to do is, of course, look for the structure patterns. So what we have is Monday's move. If you remember the sell-off, if I'm not wrong, that was Monday, right? 31st. Yeah, that was Monday. So that is the Monday's sell-off, which forms a perfect lower low, lower high formation. Now the problem that we faced is for the coming trading sessions or all the way until Friday, this swing leg, this lower low part, it was not broken. Now another problem that we faced here was the very next, not the very next, I guess it was in the same trading session. The pullback that we had was more than 50% of that. So that means that the swing leg that was there was not really going to be sustained. The down move was not going to be sustained. So of course the market goes into a range bound environment where unless and until either the previous swing high or the swing low are being taken out, it is going to remain in that range. Even after that, even after entering that range, we had further range contraction as signified by this blue border rectangle, where the price got stuck between even narrower swing highs and swing lows, which is where it remained, even for the expiry. So it was pretty slow. But at that point, you could have gone for aggressive entries, assuming that uh, you are prepared to take aggressive entries. You could have taken a couple of trades. Now, assuming that you are familiar with the identification of basic support resistance levels, so you had one at 23,900, which was also where the price was getting rejected a couple of times in the past within this same trading week. So on the 3rd of September, or on Thursday, you had a VWAP crossover, and that was at the exact level that we were planning to short it at, the resistance confirmation or the supply zone confirmation, whichever name you want to give it. So that was a VWAP breakout on the downside that formed the first lower low swing leg. A pullback was given exactly until the VWAP, from where it fell further. At that point, on every pullback, which is highlighted in the blue circle, was a potential short trade, and all of them were rewarded pretty handsomely. So that is how you use VWAP. Now coming on to fresh trades, or considering fresh trades. So we have today's trading session. Now today's trading session, as I said, massive gap down. The sentiment was turning not bullish, but it was trying to fill the gap. So you could have gone for long entries once you had a VWAP breakout, aggressive breakout, but it was a breakout nonetheless, because the candle structure signified that it was being sustained even above the VWAP. At that point, on this being your first swing leg, every pullback could have been a potential long entries. So you can say that this is where there was a slight period of accumulation going on, or this is where the buyers were readying, or the equilibrium between demand and supply was exchanging hands, after which it had that up move, which was rejected from the very range or the very swing point that we had on Monday, and from where it fell off again. Then at once of course the selling pressure actually kicked in, we had a VWAP breakout again on the downside, from which point on, or henceforth, every interaction with the VWAP is going to be a selling point. Now I hope my charts are legible and clear. If they are not, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to share the charts with you guys on the Telegram channel too. Now as I said, VWAP is it's a really strong indicator. It performs a lot of roles, and it does a lot of things in a very simple and efficient manner. It does not clutter your chart, and if you are a price action based trader, then VWAP can really add some high quality information to your already I don't know how good your price action is, but it is going to add some valuable information to your deductions that you're getting from the chart if used appropriately. Now I hope this video helped you clear out some questions, or some things or doubts or whatever on how to use VWAP. If not, or if you have any further questions regarding VWAP, how to use it, or anything as such, then let me know in the comments, or hit us up on the Telegram channel at the rate Apex Back Support. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions as usual. If you liked the video, if you want more videos like this, then don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment something nice. Don't just comment something nice, instead what do you want to see the next video on the coming weekend. Let us know. I was thinking of doing something on Elliott waves, but I figured that would be pretty lengthy, and that would have to be a multi-week series. So if you are interested on that, if you want some serious content, then let us know. I'll be more than happy to attend to your requests. This is all, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification icon so that you don't miss out on any such quality videos. I'll see you guys with the charts and the index views I guess tomorrow, Sunday night. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bye.